Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Nerina Di Lorenzo. I'm Moreland Council's Chief Executive Officer, and it is my absolute pleasure to welcome you here to tonight's council meeting. We're live streaming the election of our Mayor and our Deputy Mayor tonight, and I'd like to welcome our online viewers. This recording will also be available as video on demand. Please note that attendees tonight may be recorded during the meeting. I'd like to begin by calling on councillors to nominate an interim chairperson to start the meeting.
Yep. I'd like to nominate Samantha Ratnam for interim chair.
I'll second that.
Yep. All those in favour? Okay, Councillor Ratnam.
Thank you very much, Nerina. Welcome everyone this evening. In recognising the cultural diversity of our great city, I pay my respects to the local Indigenous people of Moreland by acknowledging that we meet on the traditional lands of the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. We pay our deep respects to Wurundjeri elders, past and present, and to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. I'd like now to acknowledge the councillors and officers in attendance with us tonight. The councillors in attendance are Councillor Natalie Aboud, Councillor Sue Bolton, Councillor Helen Davidson, Councillor Anna-Olivia Carly-Hannon, Councillor Ali Afanli, Councillor John Kavanagh, Councillor Dale Martin, Councillor Mark Riley, Councillor Lambros Tapanos, and Councillor Oscar Yildiz. The officers in attendance with us tonight are Chief Executive Officer Nerina Di Lorenzo, Director of Corporate Services James Scott, Director of City Infrastructure Grant Thorne, Director of Social Development Arden Joseph, Acting Director of Planning and Economic Development Sue Vujovic, Executive Manager Organisation Development Anita Craven, and Manager Governance and Property Olivia Wright. We have some apologies as well to acknowledge. Firstly, I'd like to acknowledge a number of distinguished guests with us here tonight. The Honourable Peter Khalil, Federal Member for Wills, Mr Brian Matthews, Local Area Commander of Victoria Police, Mr Joe Fakara, former Mayor of Moreland City Council, Mr Mark O'Brien, former Mayor of Moreland City Council, Mr Mark Higginbotham, former Mayor of Moreland City Council, Lenka Thompson, former Councillor at Moreland City Council, Joe Connellan, former Councillor at Moreland City Council, and Mr Carlo Carli, former State Member for Brunswick. Oh, and Andrea Sharon, who is a former councillor at Moreland City Council. I'd like to acknowledge the following apologies: the Honourable Jane Garrett, State Member for Brunswick, and Lizzie Blandthorne, State Member for Pascoe Vale. Councillors, I'd like now to move to the declaration of interest and/or conflict of interest. Councillors, are there any interests or conflict of interest to declare tonight? No? If there are no conflicts of interest, I would like to move on to the election of the Mayor and the Deputy Mayor. Moreland City Council's Chief Executive Officer, Nerina Di Lorenzo, will be acting as returning officer for the election of the Mayor and Deputy Mayor. I'd like now to invite Nerina back to the lectern.
As returning officer, I will first ask for nominations and a vote on the Mayor, followed by nominations and a vote for the Deputy Mayor. I'd now like to call for nominations for the position of Mayor for the 16-17 mayoral year.
I nominate Councillor Helen Davidson.
I'll second that nomination.
So, Councillor Helen Davidson, nominated by Councillor John Kavanagh and seconded by Councillor Lambros Tapanos. Are there any other nominations? Would you like to speak to the nomination?
It looks like even though there's only one nomination tonight, I would like to say a few words about the person I've nominated. Councillor Davidson was elected to council in 2012 and was re-elected a few weeks ago. She served as Deputy Mayor between 2014 and 15, and for the last 2 years she's been the Chair of the Urban Planning Committee. Anyone who's sat on the Urban Planning Committee will know that that's a very difficult role, and she's handled that role with aplomb. So therefore, the key things that a Mayor has to do regarding chairing meetings and the experience that she has there, she does very well. But of course, the Mayor does many other things than that. The Mayor represents his community, and she does that magnificently well. If she's successful tonight, and it's looking like she will be, I believe she'll be the first Mayor of Moreland to reside in Glenroy. In a 21-year history, with Glenroy being involved in the city right from the beginning of that time, that's a surprising fact. She has incredible integrity and incredible courage. That's required in a mayor. I've seen that witnessed in the last council term. I think of one episode as an example, when extra poker machines were being sought for Glenroy RSL. Councillor Davidson was one of the leaders against granting those poker machines to Glenroy RSL. Believe me, I'm in that ward as well. It's been used against us during the election campaign. But Councillor Davidson, not for 1 minute, believed that she made a mistake with that. She wants her legacy to ensure that there are no extra gaming facilities in one of the poorest parts of our municipality. Just one example of her integrity, of her courage and of her ability. She will inspire the organisation. She will inspire the people she meets in the next 12 months, whether it be at an elderly citizens group, whether it be at a scout group, whether it be at a kindergarten, whether it be at a school, and all the other things that a mayor is called upon to do. She will do it well, and she'll do it with grace, she'll do it with charm, she'll do it with intelligence, and she'll do it with wit. I ask every councillor to support this nomination.
Okay, so while we have one candidate, I still think it's good to get a show of hands. All those in favour? May I note that as unanimous. Congratulations, Councillor Helen Davidson. Congratulations, duly elected Mayor. As the returning officer, I'd like to now call for nominations for the position of Deputy Mayor for the 2016-17 mayoral year. Councillor Kavanagh?
I nominate Councillor Samantha Ratnam.
Is there a seconder?
Councillor Davidson. Councillor, was there somebody? Councillor Helen?
I think I saw Councillor Mark Riley as a seconder. Did I get that right? Because I didn't quite... Yep. Okay. Councillor Kavanagh, would you like to speak to that nomination? Actually, before I do ask, are there any other nominations?
I'd like to nominate Ali Afanli.
Councillor Afanli. Is there a seconder?
Yeah, I'll second that.
By Carly Hannon. Okay. Would you like to speak to your nomination?
Just briefly. Obviously, Councillor Ratnam has already been the Mayor of this city, and I think Councillor Davidson would very much enjoy having her council as Deputy Mayor for the next 12 months, as being the immediate predecessor to this to the role that she's fulfilling. I think we're all aware of Councillor Ratnam's talents. I think we're all aware of her ability. Interestingly, I'm not a person who believes in affirmative action, by the way, but I do believe in the best people being chosen for the positions. And both Councillor Davidson and, in this case, Councillor Ratnam are certainly the best people qualified to fill these two important roles. And Councillor Ratnam will be an important counsel for Councillor Davidson during the next 12 months.
Councillor Riley, would you like to speak to the seconding?
Just briefly, I think I concur with John's remarks. Samantha has shown great leadership over the last 12 months and beyond. She works with integrity. She's very reliable. She works with a lot of trust, and she's a very good communicator. She has lots of relationships across the city, and I think that'll be a real value to us as we go forward this year with Helen in the role and with Samantha in assistance. She's got the experience, and I think these qualities will come to the fore as the team coalesces. So I warmly second the nomination.
Councillor Tapanos, would you like to speak to the nomination?
Thank you. Thank you. The role of Deputy Mayor is a great opportunity for a newly elected councillor, in my view, to learn the ropes and to be part of the council's leadership team in this, our first year as a council. The first year on the council is really important as we undertake our council plan and a lot of the strategic work which will guide us for the next few years. We have just elected a fantastic mayor in Councillor Helen Davidson, and I feel that we need to elect a deputy mayor that can learn from her experience. An investment into the future of this council, someone who will be able to learn the ropes, to work closely with the executive team, Nerina and her staff, and the newly elected mayor to actually deliver outcomes. And I believe that person is Councillor Arlene Funley, who has shown great dedication and has been able to, throughout the last year, attend almost all the council meetings, learn so much that occurs on the council and engage himself. And I know already, even before he was sworn in last week, he's met with the council officers and been able to share his vision. Councillor John Kavanagh mentioned how our newly elected mayor is the first mayor from Glenroy. Councillor Arlene Funley is the first councillor in Moreland City Council's history to actually live in Fawkner, and I know he has a passion for Fawkner and he wants to work to enrich the lives of Fawkner and make that suburb particularly, give that suburb the attention it deserves and it's lacked for so many years. Councillors, there are 5 new councillors around this table, all very impressive people, all have great wisdom and great passion for this community, and they want to get stuck into the role straight away. And I feel that being able to offer them, or at least one of them, the role of Deputy Mayor is the best thing we could do tonight, to engage them, to enable them to learn and actually grow into that role. Now, we can't have all 5 of them being Deputy Mayor, but I think we can at least pick one of them and not actually take up all the positions as incumbent councillors. I was elected mayor 10 days after I was first elected to council, and I got no doubts that any one of these newly elected mayors could make a great deputy mayor. We all, as former mayors, will provide guidance to our newly elected mayor, but I think that this opportunity should really not be taken up on someone who's had that opportunity before, had the opportunity to be a mayor already. It should go to a new person, and I think that's the fair and right thing to do. Otherwise, we might get accused of being a little bit selfish and taking up all the positions. So I think that this is a great opportunity to actually elect someone new and give them an opportunity. Thank you.
Happy not to speak to the second? Okay, great. Okay, we have 2 candidates, Councillor Ratnam and Councillor Irfanli. All those voting for Councillor Ratnam, please raise your hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All those voting for Councillor Irfanli, please raise your hands. Councillor Ratnam has a majority at 7 votes. As returning officer, I declare Councillor Samantha Ratnam duly elected as the Deputy Mayor for Moreland City Council in the 16-17 year. Congratulations, Councillor Ratnam. I'd now like to invite our new Mayor to receive the mayoral chains from Councillor Ratnam, our outgoing Mayor, and to take her place as our Chair.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to pay my respects to the Wurundjeri people. I acknowledge that we are meeting on the traditional lands of the Wurundjeri elders and offer my respects to them past, present and future, and to all Torres Strait Islander people. I'm greatly honoured to be elected as Mayor of Moreland. I'd like to acknowledge our previous Mayor, Councillor Samantha Ratnam, for her tremendous efforts and commitment to the community, and to congratulate her on receiving the resounding endorsement of the constituents of the Southwest Ward in the recent election. Your dedication, your integrity, your intelligence and your activism are qualities I truly admire. It's an honour to take over from you as Mayor. You provided a wonderful example of leadership. You have led by inclusion, by offering support to all councillors and by encouraging other councillors to fulfil their passions for particular projects. You recognise that by harnessing the sum of all our talents, it produces better outcomes for the city we serve. I'm thankful to the people of the North West Ward for re-electing me for this term. As an independent councillor, I have no political affiliation. Those who voted for me voted on my policies, my beliefs and my vision, and they have entrusted me with re-election, and I will continue to do what is best for the people of Moreland. It's truly an honour and a privilege. I congratulate the returning councillors, Councillor Ratnam, Councillor Tapanos, Councillor Bolton, Councillor Yildiz and Councillor Kavanagh. And I welcome and congratulate the newly elected councillors, Councillor Riley, Councillor Carly Hannon, Councillor Ilfrani, Councillor Martin. I believe the community has made the right decision in electing each of you, as you are all talented, passionate and visionary. The term of a councillor is a short period of time. It's 4 years, which does pass quite quickly, whereas as an individual and a group we can achieve many lasting things for the people of Moreland. Many of these achievements will go unnoticed, but that doesn't reduce their importance, nor the satisfaction that comes from being part of these accomplishments. The role also requires us to make hard decisions, and this is when our leadership qualities come to the fore. I'm but one of 11 councillors who come from every corner of this municipality, and I look forward to working with you over the next 4 years and continuing to work with the community. For the coming 12 months, I will dedicate myself to this role, and I will be steadfast in continuing to serve the best interests of the people of Moreland. I will continue to advocate on issues the people of Moreland hold dear. I will continue to conduct myself with honesty. I will continue to act with fairness and continue to value inclusiveness. I also look forward to working closely with the CEO, Nerina De Lorenzo, a woman who I admire greatly, the Moreland Executive Group and all staff. Each person around this table has their own experiences and have contributed to their desire to represent the citizens of Moreland, and these experiences have resulted in our shared desire to serve. However, each individual circumstance are different, and so I'd like to explain a little bit about me and what motivates me in public life. I've lived in Moreland for 30 years, and I've developed a love for this municipality, and I'm thankful for all that it's given me. I remember the street I would walk down as a child to get to the library. In spring, it was full of pink and white blossoms, and in winter, the leaves were burgundy and would collect on the nature strip in puddles, which probably isn't such a good thing to have an uneven surface on the footpath, which I see now, but I thoroughly enjoyed jumping in them. I spent many hours in summer at the Oak Park pools, putting my hand on the pink elephant's trunk and redirecting the water at my friends when it came out, or getting a 10-ticket ride pass from the Big Blue Slide. I enjoyed going up to the Glenroy shopping strip and coming home with treats from the baker and hot dogs from the butcher. These are all small but significant memories that I cherish, and they translate into urban planning, sporting facilities and supporting local businesses, which are all facets of council. As an only child, my parents became my best friend. My father, Robert Davidson, has a great love of literature, and every morning, without fail, he would read to me. He loves classical literature and will fill my imagination with people's plights from different settings and different times. They excited and motivated me, and for that, Dad, I will always be grateful. I often thought our house looked more like a library, and I was convinced of this when my dad started to rearrange the books in subject matter and alphabetical order. My mum, Nancy Davidson, has been my hero. She was an older mum, and I saw from the earliest of times the importance of being compassionate and caring for others. Mum, I remember you visiting elderly people in our streets, taking them shopping or picking up their prescriptions from the pharmacist. You made me realise it was natural to help others. You taught me to listen quietly, to act compassionately, and to always strive to learn and to always grow as a person. If I could sum it up, I would say you taught me to live a life that is of use to others. It's a responsibility that I believe each councillor has recognised, and as an organisation I believe Moreland fulfils this. When I look back and reflect, I can see how many of my childhood memories have motivated me through my public life and throughout my working life. I work for Victoria Legal Aid as a family and child protection lawyer at the Broadmeadows office. Working for Victoria Legal Aid was a deliberate choice. It's an organisation that assists the most vulnerable members of our community, those who cannot afford the exorbitant fees of a private firm, and people who may have difficulties in their life, including disability, mental health and drug and alcohol problems. These are the people most in need. They often need a voice, a passionate advocate to take their issue and tell their story and navigate an often complex legal system. Being elected as a councillor in 2012 was an extension of my desire to reach out and further assist members of this municipality. I'm strongly committed to this community and will serve it with energy and passion. And if this is what I can be remembered for after my term as Mayor, then I will have accomplished what I set out to do. I will mention another councillor, Councillor John Kavanagh, who is the first independent Mayor to be elected in 2011. Councillor Kavanagh has served the community since 2004, and I have had the privilege to work with him since 2012. From the onset, he has been a mentor and a friend. You continue to inspire me, and I'm looking forward to the coming years. Now, as we look ahead, there are a range of challenges on the horizon for Moreland's 7th Council. Moreland, like all other metropolitan councils, is experiencing the challenge of high population growth. In fact, we are growing at the largest and fastest rate in our history. Our municipality is visibly changing and our land value is increasing quickly. We know our citizens are relying on us over the coming term to make sure Moreland is ready for the future and continues to be a vibrant, compassionate and livable place. In a growing city, we know our citizens are concerned about the amount of development and want us to ensure high-quality standards are put in place. Our role in guiding development and advocating to the state government has never been more important than what it is right now. We have worked hard to come up with a balanced approach to manage development. To date, we've had some significant success, such as getting mandatory sustainability environmentally friendly buildings and design elements adopted. We've also had some innovative developments in our city, like the Nightingale project in Brunswick. But we've also had some unsuccessful attempts to persuade the state government to allow us to introduce mandatory heights into our activity centres and affordable housing. Similarly, our attempts to introduce design and building standards for apartments have been knocked back. As a new council, we recommit ourselves to pursuing good quality development decisions and advocating to the state government for continued improvement initiatives. In a growing city, we need to change the way we move around the city to ease congestion and pollution. Moreland has had a strong history of supporting and advocating for alternate transport modes to ease the pressure on our roads. We've had some great success. For example, we've had the second highest number of regular cycling commuters in the nation. Also, after many years of advocacy, the state government has committed to remove 3 main level crossings in Moreland, with works to commence in the 2018 state election. But we must continue to improve public transport services and other active transport modes, such as cycling. We know our citizens want us to make sure we are planning for the future for open space and recreational needs. This year, in partnership with the state government, there will be netball courts built at Charles Mutton Reserve, Cole Reserve, the JP Faulkner Sporting Precinct, Martin Reserve and Martin Reserve. This council term will also be the first where we actively plan to take steps to acquire open space on a proactive basis with our future population in mind. In a growing city, we know our citizens want us to do more in the way we manage our construction sites. This year, we are a review of Council's local law and of our construction management practices. This presents us with a big opportunity to change how we control and monitor building sites. We know energy efficiency, carbon reduction and keeping the city cool are concerns for our citizens. In the past year, we've completed the bulk changeover of street lighting across the entire municipality. LED lights, both cost-effective and provide better light in making our public areas safer at night. Our Zero Carbon Evolution strategy set an ambitious plan to reduce carbon emissions in Moreland, with the target to make Moreland the first carbon-neutral council in Australia. We are making steady progress, even against the backdrop of a Commonwealth government that has reduced subsidies for domestic solar installation. Council is leading by example, with the installation of solar cells across council facilities, which are significantly reducing Moreland's carbon footprint, and we are implementing strategies to overcome the heat island effect by planting more than 5,000 trees this year alone. In a growing city, affordable housing will become a high priority for us and our citizens. This year, Council will establish a Moreland Affordable Housing Organisation and Land Trust to provide better opportunities for Moreland residents to find accommodation. In the year ahead, Council will be testing what has been set up this year through the exploration of a demonstration housing project. There are many changes, and this Council continues to commit to plan for the future. The municipal rate cap, introduced by the state government, will mean significantly less revenue for Council over the coming years to deliver its many projects and services. These changes will really begin to have an effect in this Council term. This new financial environment means the choices that we make about where we spend our money in the community become more important than ever before. Looking forward to the next year, Moreland will continue to progress its ambitious agenda of project and service delivery. One of our first and most important tasks as a new council will be to develop the council plan and the 5-year financial plan. It's our responsibility to establish these plans and priorities for the 4 years and beyond. How we manage our growing community and respond to pressure of development while maintaining the things we love about Moreland will be a delicate balancing act. Over the past year, Council developed a strategy to fund the renewal of the Oak Park Aquatic Centre, an incredibly, and as I had stated previously, much loved asset of our community. The project is expected to cost $26 million and is by far the single biggest project in Moreland's history. The design is complete and it will now be our role to make the decision to build the project and commence construction this coming year. Construction of the impressive Pascoval Community Facility commenced earlier this year and is due to be completed in 2017. We anticipate the facility will become a very important community hub, available to residents, community groups and local service providers. The past year has seen Council commence work to respond to the federal government reforms for aged care and National Disability Scheme. These reforms fundamentally change the way clients will receive services in the future, and this will be a challenge for Council as we consider how to best serve the community in the changing environment. These are some of the more vulnerable members of our community, and as a council, we have a responsibility to ensure that they are cared for. When I look around at my colleagues tonight, I can't but help be excited at the new term and what it brings. We are a diverse group of councillors from all parts of the political spectrum. This may mean we bring different views to the table. It may also mean we don't always agree, but it doesn't have to stop us from working as a team. It doesn't have to stop us from being united on our purpose to serve the community. And I can call on all councillors to let diversity be our strength. It is both my honour and my pleasure to serve you as the Mayor of Moreland in the coming year. And I will work faithfully with my fellow councillors to serve our citizens and to advance the city that we all love. Thank you. I'd now like to present the Certificate of Appreciation to our former Mayor, Councillor Samantha Ratnam. Unfortunately, Councillor Gillies, the outgoing Deputy Mayor, is an apology for tonight. And I'd welcome Samantha Ratnam, the outgoing Mayor, to receive her certificate and to say a few words.
Thank you so very much, Mayor Davidson. I'm thrilled with your election to Mayor, and I have every confidence that you're going to serve this city with integrity, passion and dedication and continue the great work that has already begun. Thank you to my former councillors who bestowed me with the trust and confidence to support me in the position over the last year. And thank you to the broader community for both electing me to Moreland City Council and re-electing me in the election just gone by. It indeed has been a privilege and an honour and a highlight of my life to serve the community in the last year, particularly as the Mayor. I'm so proud of what this council has achieved, the largest investment in climate change action to make our city and put our city on the road to become the first carbon emissions-free city in Australia. The support, the unwavering support and budget commitment to the Oak Park pool will see that facility being renewed and developed in the next term, which we're so proud of. We've worked so hard to advocate on behalf of the community to improve the quality of development that we're seeing in the city, particularly to improve the sustainability, affordability and livability of new homes. We've done some critical work to put this council in a fantastic position to create new open space throughout this city, and particularly in areas where we're deficient in open space. We've continued to support so many sport and recreation clubs, community and neighbourhood houses. And one thing I have learnt, particularly through the last year, and when I reflect on a lot of people lamenting that the old community spirit is no longer there anymore and they worry about the future of our communities, one thing you get the privilege of seeing when you serve as a councillor is the magic of community well and alive in deep pockets within your own neighbourhoods. And we're so privileged to witness that every day. It's renewed my optimism and enthusiasm in our own community of Moreland and across the communities around us as well. I want to thank everyone for your support throughout the year, congratulate all the councillors on their election to this council. I too am very excited to serve with this diverse, passionate and talented group of people, and I have every confidence that we're going to see a fantastic term of council over the next 4 years. Thank you, everyone.
We'll now turn to the presentation of council reports. The first report is the appointment of the Mayor and the Deputy Mayor and councillors to the Audit and Risk Committee and the Urban Planning Committee. Councillor Kavanagh.
Madam Mayor, can I move the council resolves to 1. Councillor Helen Davidson as Mayor for 2016-17 mayoral year. 2. Councillor Samantha Ratnam as Deputy Mayor for 2016-2017 mayoral year, and Councillors Ratnam and Farnley and Martin to the Audit and Risk Management Committee for 2016-2017 mayoral year, and that all councillors be appointed to the Urban Planning Committee for 2016-17 mayoral year.
Thank you, Councillor Kavanagh. Is there a seconder?
Yeah, I'll second that.
Councillor Riley. We'll put that to the vote. All those in favour?
I think councillors might like us to separate that, Madam Mayor. So what if we did one on point 1 and 2 and then point 3 and 4 separate?
Yes,
would that be
yes,
right?
That would be
so
fine.
I'm happy to just to move point 1 and 2.
Councillor Kavanagh.
Yep.
So I'll put point 1 and 2 to the vote. All those in favour? I declare that carried. We'll move on to point 3. The councillors appointed to the Audit and Risk Committee. I'll put that to the vote. All those in favour? I declare that carried. And we'll now move on to point 4 for the Urban Planning Committee. I'll put that to the vote. All those in favour?
Can I raise an objection, please?
Yep.
Yes.
So this last point is saying that all councillors must go on the Urban Planning Committee. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
No. Why can't councillors have a choice of doing that? If they don't want to go on that committee, why do they have to be forced to go onto a committee they don't want to necessarily go on? Can I ask that question? Because that doesn't operate in any other council.
Yeah. So my understanding is that we're appointing the councillors to the committee, and if at a later point, say if this motion is successful, at a later point, if you don't wish to remain on it, potentially another motion can be moved at a later point.
But this has never occurred in the past.
No, but yeah. Councillor Kavanagh,
I'm happy to speak to it if you like, seeing as there's discussion about it. The reason why I've flagged this with councillors over the last week or so is that during the council election period, and everyone at this table has experienced that, I think on every single material that I saw, there was reference to the development in Moreland, and particularly the concern of many residents about the overdevelopment in Moreland. For me, that's the #1 issue in Moreland that's been raised with me in the 12 years that I've been on council. It occurs to me that it is almost the responsibility of every councillor to make the planning decisions. It's easy to hand it over to a select group of people and to say, I'm not responsible for that, that's not my area. But in fact, considering it's something that's used in political advertising. Consider it something that's so often raised by members of the community, and because it seems to be the #1 issue that our residents are concerned about, I think that every councillor around the table should take part of the responsibility for making those decisions and for, therefore, being responsible for those decisions. You know, I'm proud of the decisions that I've made on the Urban Planning Committee, but they haven't been easy. It is a difficult role. I mentioned before about Councillor Davidson being suitable for Mayor because she's been the chair of that committee. It's a difficult committee, but it is an important role. And I think when councillors decide not to sit on that committee, in a sense, they're abrogating the responsibility that they've been given by being elected. So I believe that every councillor should do that.
Thank you, Councillor Kavanagh.
I'd like to speak, please.
Councillor Yildiz.
When the residents of Moreland vote for their councillors, they don't vote for councillors to go on individual committees. They vote for them to represent them to the best of their ability. This, in my entire 8 years I've been on council and beyond that, this has never ever occurred in the past, where councillors have been strictly forced to go onto a committee which they don't want to. Let me make this clear. I'm not for overdevelopment, never will be, but I don't think it's fair for me or anyone around here to say to a councillor, you must go on this councillor committee and you've got no choice. That sort of behaviour, that bullying behaviour, is unacceptable.
I don't think
And
that's
I
don't think that's a fair statement to make a comment about bullying behaviour, Oscar.
I believe that you can't force anybody to go into any committee. So it is your democratic choice to make that decision. But tonight we are saying you must come to that committee meeting and you must be at every meeting. That's not right. This has never happened in the past. So this is the game that's going to be played for the next 4 years, where we are going to be strictly told what to do. I didn't get elected to serve my community, which I actually live in this municipality. I was born in this municipality. I didn't get elected to be told what to do. I got elected to do what I think is right. And I don't think it's fair, and this has never happened, and this doesn't happen in any other council either. People get a choice to go onto the committees they think they can represent ethically and honourably, because there are conflicts and councillors have conflicts, which means that every single council urban planning committee, a councillor like myself will have to declare a conflict because I know someone who might be building. That's not right.
I believe the CEO has a point of clarification on that point.
So just through the chair or through the mayor. So this committee is a special committee. It's delegated powers. The appointment would be, this is basically making the appointment of all councillors. Nobody can force a councillor to attend the meetings. It's at this point, as a special committee, it doesn't have the same status as a council meeting. So that would need to change in the local law. So I just want to make that, just want to clarify that.
That's fair. Thank you, Nerina. And that's completely fair. But then to highlight how many meetings you haven't been to is not fair either. So you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. So this is saying to people who have other commitments, who want to go on committees that they're passionate about. I'm not passionate about building.
Okay, I think
so why should I have to go on
Ratnam has her hand up. Councillor Ratnam?
Mayor Davidson, I just wanted some clarification if Councillor Kavanagh could just, not clarification, if you could just read out point 4 again, because I think some people misheard or didn't hear the last part about the chair. So if you could just read out point 4 in its entirety, please.
Point 4 is, all councillors are appointed to the Urban Planning Committee for the 2016-17 mayoral year with Councillor Samantha Ratnam, as chair of the Urban Planning Committee.
Thank you very much.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
And,
Councillor Kavanagh?
when debate's finished, I'm happy to close the debate.
Thank you, Councillor Kavanagh. Councillor Riley, I noticed you. Did you want to make a point?
If there's any other debate, otherwise
Okay.
I'll reserve the right to.
Thank you. Are there any further councillors who wish to speak in relation to this? No? Councillor Riley?
Yeah, I just stand to speak to this. We did talk about this during the week at our briefing, and we had quite a lot of discussion about the idea, and I wasn't aware, Oscar, that you weren't in agreement with it. There wasn't a hard and fast rule, but there was quite a lot of discussion about this a few days ago, so I'm a little bit surprised. So I think it's beholden on us to actually participate and to take some responsibility. And I think we can review this in months to come, 3 or 6 months to go and see how it goes.
Thank you, Councillor Riley. Councillor Kavanagh?
Just briefly to close the debate. Just to explain, yes, Councillor Riley's correct. This was raised at a briefing last Wednesday night. It's not a surprise. In fact, the group manager of City Development briefed us on the implications of this. Number two, yes, many councils do this, but most of those councils have already got in place that one council meeting a month is for all other issues other than planning, and the second council meeting is for planning. At this point in time, because of our local law, we can't make that change on the spot. But this is the first step towards bringing in that, if you like, that progression towards local law. I repeat again, I think it's vital that the number one issue that residents are concerned about should be the responsibility of every person that puts their name forward. Regarding conflicts of interest, they are dealt with in the same way that every other conflict of interest is dealt with. I sometimes have to declare a conflict of interest. My son is a real estate agent in Coburg. So on those matters, I declare a conflict of interest. That's fine. There's no problem in that. As long as I'm aware of what's coming before the committee, I know what I need to declare, and I haven't had one issue on that. Yes, conflicts do come up. They're dealt with in the appropriate way.
Thank you, Councillor Kavanagh. I'll now put point 4 to the vote. All the councillors, so I'll read it out again. All councillors are appointed to the Urban Planning Committee for the year 2016-17 mayoral year, with Councillor Samantha Ratnam as chair of the UPC. I'll put that to the vote. All those in favour? All those against? I declare that carried. We'll now move on. Thank you. We'll now move on to the second report, which is to note the Mayor's speech for the 2017 year. Is there a person who wishes to move the report?
I so move.
Councillor Ratnam, is there a seconder? Councillor Tapanos? Is there any discussion? No? I'll put that to the vote. All those in favour? I declare that carried. And I now declare the council meeting closed and invite everybody to join us for some light refreshments just at the back. Thank you.